All right, so the theme of the the theme of the one thing is dominoes. And we chose that because when someone sees the title of the one thing, one of the first things they will tell us is, it's never just one thing. Like, who gets to do one thing? Nobody. But the idea of the one thing isn't that you don't have other stuff to do, it's that you have a clear priority. And if you align your priorities over time, you can get huge momentum and leverage in your actions. And so the metaphor for us was a line of dominoes. Has everybody here at some point in your life lined up dominoes, right? You line them up just so, and what happens when you knock over the first one? They all fall down, right? That's what we call aligning your dominoes, and that's a metaphor for lining up your priorities. So in researching that book, our researchers found that the world record at that time, in 2009 in the Netherlands, a group actually lined up almost 4.5 million dominoes. And by knocking over one, they got them all to fall down. And so aligned properly, it kind of boggles the mind how much you can get done through one action. And then we stumbled on another piece, and this is the part that I actually think was the coolest. As cool as 4.5 million is, you can find that, I believe it's on YouTube, and it takes about 13 minutes for all the dominoes to fall down. There's a guy named Loren Whitehead, and in the American Journal of Physics, back in 1983 or 84, he wrote an article where he described that a 2-inch domino could knock over a 3-inch domino, and a 3-inch domino could knock over a 4.5-inch domino. And my math breaks down there because I'm an English French major. But you get where it's going. And he built them out of wood. And by the 10th domino, that 2-inch domino actually knocked over a domino that's about 2 inches taller than I am. It was 6'4". And so there is tremendous momentum when you align things as well. So not only can one thing do a lot of stuff, it can actually do more in terms of scale. And so we philosophically thought, well, we can't build them, but if you could actually take that principle out and you start, and I keep this with me, it's a 2-inch domino for me to remember the scale of this conversation. If you start with a little 2-inch domino and you start progressing at that same rate, if you could build them, by the 18th domino, it would knock over one almost as tall as the Leaning Tower of Pisa. By the 23rd, it would knock over one that was as tall as the Eiffel Tower. And I'm going to pause there. We think of the Eiffel Tower, and I often think of the earrings you get when you're in Paris, you know, like you see the necklaces and the little baubles, right? It's hard to tell how tall that is because there's no context. There's no skyscrapers around it. So the Eiffel Tower, if you go to the tallest building here in San Francisco, right, the Transamerica building, it's actually 250 feet taller than that. So it's actually already 23 dominoes into it, you're already at a huge scale. By 31, it would knock over a domino 3,000 feet taller than Everest. And by 57, if you could build it, it would be a domino that would reach almost all the way from the Earth to the moon. Now, cool, fun, this is the part of the book that my kids read and remembered, right? Because they thought it was, wow, that kind of blows your mind. But the point here is what begins with one small thing, a 2-inch domino in this case, done correctly with the right priorities over time will grow so big it will boggle your mind. And researchers, this is called a geometric progression, right? Anything that grows at a regular pace over time is going to look like that over time. And it's a hockey stick, right? Is what they call it, the hockey stick graph. We believe, after all the research we put into the one thing, is that when you build positive habits into anything, your diet, or in this case, financial habits, your results will look like that. You know, Einstein, the old quote that's attributed to him, you know, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it will earn it, and those who don't will pay it, right? Well, if you do anything on compounding, eventually it's going to look like this as well. So I'll give you an example of a financial habit, and that's going to be the thing I want you to walk out of this talk with, is at least one powerful new financial habit that's tied to your personal financial goals. But this is what it looks like, right, if it's successful. Hey, I'm just going to live on less than I earn and invest the rest. I'm just going to do the simple thing, live on less than I earn and invest the rest. And just keep doing that and keep doing that. Eventually, those investments, even though they were small in the beginning, compound, 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 boom. Let's flip it over. I'm just going to spend a little bit more than I earn. I'm just going to spend a little bit more than I earn. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get a second credit card. I can still pay the minimums, and I'm going to keep this pattern up. And a lot of people in our society today do exactly that. Well, that hockey stick will flip the opposite way, And the most common reason for that is someone gets sick or loses their job. And now you're looking at bankruptcy. And so positive and negative habits actually define us. And so becoming aware of them and being purposeful about building them becomes one of the most powerful things that you can do. And I will tell you, if you're willing to work for your habits, what's beautiful about it is very quickly they will start working for you. Building the habit, the investor habit, which is kind of the main thing I would love for you to walk out of here doing, it's something that's absolutely propelled my wife and I's journey, and it can you too.